folks, thanks for joining me today. So in today's tutorial, we're finally getting to the February flower, which is a violet. Now, I will be honest with you, I did this numerous times before I finally settled on this tutorial because I was having such a hard time with this. So there was a lot of practicing, and I still don't feel like I got it just perfect, but I believe that it turned out really pretty. And once the complete product was finished, it looked amazing. So what I'm doing is I'm using a flat brush. It's a number 2 because I'm doing a small area. And I am double loading. So what that means is that I'm putting one color on one side of the brush and another color on the other side of the brush. So the colors that I'm using right now are Eggplant and Lavender, and they're both by FolkArt. I also use a little bit of floating medium. So this allows the paint to move a little bit better and blends all the way, as well as it lets the paint stay wet for longer periods of time rather than if it was just the acrylic paint. So what I do is I load up my brush. So the eggplant color is going to be on the inside there. You just saw me switch my brush. And I'm putting a little V on there so I know where my start is and I know where I want to end it. And I just drag it back down. So the dark is on the inside, or yeah, the inside of the petal, and then the lighter color is on the outside of the petal. So that way you get a nice quick flow with one stroke, these two different colors, and they blend together in the middle. So it shows that the petals go from dark to light, and all I'm doing is I'm going over top of each one. So as I do this, the ones that are at the back are very dark colored. Then the ones at the front are going to be a lot lighter. And if you look at any violet plant, definitely the African violets, they cluster like this. And they have this different colors. It's almost like the ones that are on the bottom of the plant were they bloomed first, so that's why they're darker. And then the ones on the front or on top are the ones that have bloomed the earliest, so, or I guess the latest, and that's why they're in a lighter color. So I'm not exactly sure. I'm not a botanist, so I think that's how it goes. I could have researched it, but I think common sense, that makes sense to me. So but this is just a painting. I'm just having fun with it. So you'll see these ones are a little bit lighter. So what I did was I put a lot more of the lavender on from the eggplant, as well as I added a little bit of titanium white, which is also by FolkArt. And a lot of these paints that I'm using are multi-surface. The reason for that is because they have a thicker body to them, like they're just thicker, so it's a heavy body paint. So I can maneuver this paint around a lot easier, as well as adding that floating medium gives it a lot smoother of a brush stroke, so I don't have to worry about clumps or anything like that. So there's just some little tips and tricks I've learned as I've been doing this, and I'm still fairly new at doing all of this one stroke painting. So I hope that you learn along with me at the same time. And I really do hope that whatever I'm doing and I'm passing on what I find onto you, that you find it helpful. So you can let me know by simply giving me the thumbs up. If you haven't subscribed yet, make sure you do that because I post a lot of videos. You don't want to miss any. And to ensure you don't miss any, ring the little bell and it'll pop up a notification on your feed to let you know that I just posted something new. So you don't want to miss anything. I've got lots of stuff coming up. I think I'm going to do another mini series for Easter eggs coming up. Easter's late this year, so I've got some time to get some really good tutorials done and get them ready to be posted so that everyone can view them. Another thing that I'm also putting on these violet flowers is I'm going to be using some color shift paint. It's called Blue Violet Flash. And I really like how when you move the rock, it actually changes color. Um, this was a mistake that I'm doing right now. I'm trying to do a bud and it didn't work out. So I tried to make it a little bit bigger, and then I realized buds aren't bigger than the actual flower. So proportionately, it wasn't correct. So I made it into another flower, and I didn't worry so much about the buds. But you can see I'm really struggling with this one. But don't worry, I do fix it up a little bit later, and it all looks great once I put it all together. So I just continue doing exactly this. So what I do is I lay my paintbrush down, and then I give it like 3 or 4 wiggles up at the top, and then drag my brush back down to the center. So I do this over and over and over again. I start with the top petal, then I do one on the right, and I do one on the left, and then I do 2 little ones on the bottom. So if you think of it as like a person, so you're going to do the head first, then its arms, and then the legs. So that's an easier way for me to describe what I'm doing, that's basically how it's working out. I do throw in a little bit of, what's the color? I think, actually, no, I don't. So I was thinking I threw in some magenta, but I didn't. What I ended up doing was I mixed a little bit of the purple, so the lavender. I mixed in some eggplant and I got a different color. And then another tip that I can give you is I never cleaned my brush. So this way I got different shades and different colors of the purple as I was building these flowers. So there I am doing my little V again. So my start and stop point, do my wiggles and slide it back down to the center. I usually do that only on the first petal so that I can get my idea of size that I'm going to do. But I really liked how this turned out. And I really hope that you did too. I also do some leaves. I've been practicing leaves and I'm still very, very novice. So bear with me when I do these. And you're just learning alongside me as I am learning this and bringing it to you guys. So here's where I fix up that weird and wonky kind of big bud and I make it into another flower. But you can see all of the different colors, the different shades of purple, just by using 2 different colors of purple and then adding in that color shift blue violet flash into some of them. So I do this, I do a stem that will be coming up very shortly, and then I do a couple of leaves just to give it contrast of color, so it's not just one big blob of purple that's on there. And I fix up any leaves that I want or petals that I want to do, as I'm showing you now. I'm putting some purple flash onto that one right now, and you can see how it gets really, really shiny, like almost metallic color. But once it dries and then you resin it and you turn it in different lights, it changes color. So it goes from like a purpley blue color to a deep violet color. So I thought it was fun to use, and I'm hoping that I can incorporate some of my color flash or color shift paints a little bit more often because they're so fun. So here I am doing the leaf. Now I had no problem doing the first half, but it was the second half that I had a little bit of an issue with. So what you do is you do the double load again. So I'm using holly green, and I am using, I think it is light green. Yes, light green by Craft Smart. So I dip one edge of my paintbrush into one color, and then the other side of the paintbrush is the opposite color, or the other color that I'm going to use. And then I just sort of brush it back and forth on my palette. So I have a glass palette that I use. Maybe in the next tutorial, I will show you a little bit more on how I blend them together on that to get these two different colors to blend together. And then I just go in. There is multiple ways to do leaves because each leaf is different per flower. So these particular leaves are big and bulky. Now on an African violet, they are darker, but I wanted a contrast onto the stone. So that's why I did these. But you just lay your paint down so that the dark color is on the inside, the light color is on the outside, and then you just use the light tip of the paintbrush and you just slide it up into the leaf to give it that vein in the middle, and that's how you do it. So one stroke painting really makes a beautiful painting with very little time, and that's what I really liked about it as well. So I'm hoping to continue to learn how to do this and keep teaching you little things that we do. So I'm just going to add another leaf here. You can see I didn't quite like it, so I went over it again, and now I'm going back to the other side. And with each leaf that I do, I seem to be getting a little bit better. So practice makes perfect. And again, this is just my painting, and I hope that you can do better or learn stuff from what I've been doing. To finish this off, what I do is I put little yellow dots. Oh, I'm doing that right now in the center because I looked on the African violets and they have these little tiny yellow dots in the center of their flowers. So I just put those on and it just really made them pop. And I'm so happy with how this turned out, even though it was probably my 5th try at doing these flowers. But I finally decided to just follow the process, listen to my own advice, and go with the flow and trust the process. And that's what I did. And it's very, very beautiful. So the last step that I do is I do that gold frame around that I had already stenciled on with my General's charcoal pencil and my oval stencil. So I do that as the last step. And then it's finished. So that's about it. Let me know in the comments if you enjoyed this, if you have any suggestions for me or anything that you want to tell me. I'd love to hear about what your thoughts are, or just to say hi. I mean, that's good enough for me. I love reading your comments. I love answering your comments. And there are a few suggestions in the comments that I will be testing out and providing a tutorial for, including how to make a blending brush, because I have lost that video. I don't know where it went, but I'm going to make another one and I'm going to show you a few different ways on how you can do that. So stay tuned for that. And I will also be doing a few different new techniques that I've been sort of practicing on top of this. So stay tuned for that. And I hope everyone is having a great day. And I guess until next time, it's finished. So there you have it, folks. Life is what you make it. So get creative.